Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I'm right now living in Alpine, Wyoming. If you want to find anything about me, go to MySpace, Facebook, or Twitter where I have accounts. This here's about Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and some of the good and bad things about it. First of all, it's a great little town. The people here are pretty friendly. Um, in Jackson Hole, you can walk around the town pretty much without the use of a vehicle, unless you're old or something or have problems with your legs, or if you're in a wheelchair. But it's a very friendly town. Uh, the restaurants, there's quite a few restaurants, obviously, in Jackson Hole, and that's in the center core. Uh, and the food's not that expensive. It's not like some places, in ski resort towns where, you go in there and buy a dinner and you got to pay $50 just for your own dinner. So I've got hamburgers, French fries, Cokes for maybe $7 at some of their restaurants here. I eat kind of simple things, but it's a really nice little town. You can, as I said, walk around the core of the town without the need of a car. In the summertime, though, usually starting around late May all the way into about August, it's really expensive to get a motel room here. Be advised of that. It's really expensive. It's going to cost you well over $100 a night. But my suggestion would be the Antler Inn. Antler Inn is a really good motel to stay at. I did a review for the Antler Inn, and I stayed there for 3 nights when I first arrived here back in July. And it was great. It's perfect. It's right where you need to be so you can walk around and see everything. They do have bus service here in Jackson Hole that'll take you over into the Teton Village, and that's where you can catch the gondola. You do have to pay for it. I haven't been on it, but that's due to the fact that they told me there's really not a whole lot to see. So take that into account. Since I've been here since July, and I'll only be here one more week down here in Alpine, I've seen a moose. I've seen one up just north of Jackson, heading up towards Idaho, and it's just right before you turn to go to Teton Village, maybe about 5 miles out of Jackson. By a bridge there's a moose that stays down in that area down there in those marshes and stuff. And as you turn into Teton Village, over to the right, that moose will sometimes cross over into there. And I saw one right just after I got here, a few weeks, over here near Hoback, which is between Jackson and Alpine. And I saw one had just crossed the road and was going up the embankment there. I'd never seen a moose, in live or in person before. I only seen them on TV before, but it was great to see. Just don't want to meet one in the woods and don't want to meet one on the highway. Okay, as I said, they do have bus service here. The people that run it, I've met the people who run it, and I'm not very impressed with the people that run it, but they still have bus service here. Unfortunately, their bus service, they have to leave their buses outside and run them all night, so they'll turn on in the morning because they don't have a bus barn. But I understand they're building one now. Some of the things you might want to do out here is take, if you like whitewater, go to Jackson Hole Whitewater, and they'll set you up for a whitewater trip or for a scenic tour. And they're both fun. In the summertime, they run about 3 a day. And so it's quite often. My suggestion is, because of the afternoon thunderstorms, take the one in the morning, or take the second one, because take the morning one. That's you've got a greater chance of not being interrupted by any thunderstorms out there if you take the one in the morning. Okay. If you are, let me give you some ideas of some of the things that are here in Jackson Hole. They do not have a Walmart. They do have a Kmart, and things in that Kmart are a little bit more expensive than you would get at Walmart. The nearest Walmart is, I think, over in Landers, Wyoming, about 2 hours away. Or you can actually go about 70 miles over into Idaho, Idaho's Falls Springs, I think it is, Idaho Springs, and you can. There's a Walmart there. Okay, let's see. They do have a Dairy Queen, a Pizza Hut, a McDonald's in Jackson Hole. Let's see. They have the Kmart. They have basic conveniences. They don't have a Burger King that I've ever seen. They do have a hospital here. They do have a hostel. Here's another idea, especially if you're single. Go over to Teton Village, and in the summertime you can probably get a room like you could a motel room if it's available for about like $88. So you might get one that's under $100. And if you have to share a room, I think he goes down to maybe like 35, 45. You'd have to get on the web and look that up. Let's see. Oh, yes, they do not have a Greyhound here. And so if you wanted, let's say you're in Alabama and you want to take a bus to Jackson Hole, well, you'd have to take a bus all the way, possibly all the way to Salt Lake City. And then you would have to call Ultrans here in Jackson. They do a tour each day running back and forth, and they pick people up at the airport there. And then they'll pick you up at the Greyhound station in Salt Lake City. Remember the name Ultrans. It's not exactly a very delightful company either. I got to ride with them once, and I wasn't very impressed, especially with the driver chewing tobacco, spitting the cup every 5 seconds, and the foul language. But he's just one driver. The rest of them might be just fine. But anyway, there is no Greyhound here at the moment. So be warned of that. If you fly into Jackson Hole, be aware that, especially in the wintertime, that if the airport is shut down, Alltrans will send buses to the airport here in Jackson. I think it's about 9 miles north of Jackson, up towards Moose. And they will bus you down to Salt Lake to catch your flight. So be aware that when you come here to go skiing in the wintertime, that if that airport shut down, it's going to be shut down for a long time. They may take some coach buses, 3 or 4 of them. I don't think they'll have about 4 of them, but maybe 3 of them. And they'll bus you all the way down to Salt Lake. It generally can take up to 4 to 5 hours to get there. But if it's heavy snow, ice on the road, and obviously there would be, you're looking at a much longer ride. So be aware of that. You can get stuck here. My suggestion would just go back and get you, if you got the money, the time, tell them how, we'll go get a room. So keep that in mind. So that's basically all I really want to say about Jackson Hole. It is a great place to visit. Again, stay at the Antler Inn if you can. It's right in the center core of town. Oh, they do have horse rides, you know, where they have a man and sometimes a woman that drives a horse carriage, you know, like they do in New York around the center town, in the core of the town, and it's really cool. They have some really nice parks. They have, like I said, they have a lot of conveniences here too. They have like a Dollar Tree. You can get a lot of little neat stuff there, cheap prices, souvenirs. If you want to buy your souvenirs, go to the Dollar Tree. It's just outside the core of the town. It's not, you can, depending on what hotel, motel you're at, you can just about walk to it. Keep that in mind. They have a lot of gas stations. Gas prices here are not real bad. Oh, here's another thing. If you have prescription drugs that you have to purchase, you know, like at your local drugstore, get them before you come here. You do not want to buy any prescription drugs here in Jackson Hole. A few months ago, I had my high blood pressure medicine and my cholesterol medicine. Cost me together for 30 days. Cost me nearly $69 at the Albertsons. And I found out that this stuff, these 2 things were expensive everywhere. Now, this is without insurance. Then I decided, well, I go down to Thames, which is about 16 miles here from Alpine here. Okay, it's about, oh, I don't know, almost 50 miles from Jackson. Because I live down here in Alpine. I just run down to Thames to get it. It cost me $38. So almost a $30, almost a $30 difference in price. When you go into any tourist town, prices for prescription drugs, can be a lot more expensive than they can be in non-tourist towns. That's something to keep in mind. So if you have prescription drugs, make sure you get enough to bring with you, and make sure that you don't have to buy them here. You do not want to buy them at Albertsons in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Trust me. They will they'll, you know, even with insurance, it's still expensive. That's what tourist towns do. They sometimes take advantage of people that, you know, come to places like this, and, you know, they jack up the prices, especially during the summer. So keep that in mind. Get your drugs before you come on this trip. Anyway, that's all I want to say about Jackson Hole. It's a great place to come to. I wish I could live here. I might come back here next summer. I'm going to leave in about a week, and then I might come back in May and spend the summer here again. It's a great place. A lot of things to see, a lot of wildlife to see, and take some of the Jackson Hole Whitewater tours and their scenic tour. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for your time. Bye.